Please take a second to subscribe, then like and share afterwards. We can really use your support. Thank you. An invisible hand is guiding the populace. Lafayette. From the Knights Templar to Skull and Bones and the Illuminati, most will tell you these organizations are little more than a conspiracy theory or legend. But the truth is, they are so concealed from the mainstream that they were designed to be concealed from the very start. Arthur Edward Waite, a prolific writer on secret societies, wrote, "Beneath the broad tide of human history, there flow the stealthy undercurrents of the secret societies which frequently determine in the depths of the changes that take place upon the surface." President Woodrow Wilson echoes this idea with this startling statement: "There is a power so organized, so subtle, so complete, so pervasive, that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it." Both of these writers warned that such secret societies have been arranging the major events of the past. Albert Pike, American author, Confederate general, and prominent Freemason, connected the secret societies with a secret belief in his book entitled Morals and Dogma. He wrote that all secret orders and associations had two doctrines, one concealed and reserved for the masters, the other for public. One such order with two doctrines was the Illuminati, a secret order that called themselves the Illuminated Ones, and Professor Adam Weishaupt, its founder, boasted of his organization's secrecy. He realized that this secrecy would enable them to decide the fate of nations, and because their deliberations were secret, no outsider could interfere. He wrote, "The great strength of our order lies in its concealment. Let it never appear in its own name, but always covered by another name and another occupation." This was their modus operandi. Please keep this in mind as we move forward in this series. In 1797, Professor of Natural Philosophy John Robison uncovered some of Weishaupt's communications in his book, Proofs of a Conspiracy, one of which was a letter he wrote to a fellow member of the Illuminati. Nothing can bring this new order for the world about but hidden societies. Hidden schools of wisdom are the means which will one day free men from their bonds of religion. Princes and nations shall vanish from the earth. This would mean that the secret societies were created to bring the world to the new global society known as the New World Order. These members truly felt their goal for the world were, and still are, so noble that they may perform any task required to bring that goal to fruition. That means that murder, plunder, and corruption all become acceptable as long as it furthers their realization of their plan. In our previous episode, we looked at the reverse side of the dollar bill to outline Novus Order Seclorum, translated as New World Order. Now, to prove its connection to the Illuminati, look at the Roman numerals at the bottom of the pyramid. It is the year 1776. This is not to do with the Declaration of Independence, but actually the year that Weishaupt founded the Illuminati. The world's leaders have been echoing this call for a new world order even before Weishaupt. This has been the plan at least since the first settlers arrived in 1607. According to Manly P. Hall, a 33rd degree Mason, wrote The Secret Destiny of America. In it, he states, "Men bound by a secret oath to labor in the cause of world democracy decided that in the American colonies they would plant the roots of a new way of life." He stated that the Order of the Quest arrived in the early 17th century and attempted to infiltrate the freedom-loving founders as America was rising. But it soon proved that it was far too difficult up against the freedom-seeking people who began flooding in. For a time, the conspirators stayed in the shadows, waiting for their chance to initiate key figures into their societies. That has largely gone on for the next few centuries, and the goal for the New World Order continued to build. New York Governor Nelson A. Rockefeller said during his campaign for president he would work toward the international creation of a new world order. In 1976, a document called the Declaration of Interdependence was introduced in Washington. It read, "2 centuries ago, our forefathers brought forth a new nation. Now we must join with others to bring forth a new world order." In 1975, American diplomat Henry Kissinger said, "Our nation is uniquely endowed to play a creative and decisive role in the New World Order which is taking form around us." And most famously, President George H.W. Bush.
It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause.
Since this time, leaders around the world have been echoing the same words.
Nothing less than a new world order.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Never before has a new world order had to be assembled from so many different perceptions.
We can actively contribute together to building the 21st century world order.
Weltordnung haben will, eine globale politische Ordnung.
Forces are in flux. Soon they will settle again. Before they do, let us reorder this world around us.
In this period, when really a new world order can be created, it's a great opportunity.
A new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges.
After 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
Foster Bailey, founder of the Lucifer Publishing Company and 33rd degree Freemason, revealed in his book, The Spirit of Freemasonry, The Power of Symbolism. A symbol veils or hides a secret and is that which veils certain mysterious forces. These energies, when released, can have a potent effect. Albert Pike also emphasized the importance of the use of symbols. It is for the adepts to understand the meanings of the symbols. Adepts were generally the name for those who were masters, princes of masonry, who were the only ones well versed in the use of symbols, as they fulfilled both the need to conceal sacred truths from the uninitiated and to offer a language for those qualified to understand it. According to Pike, adept is a name given to the order of Illuminati, meaning the illuminated Masons, or those who truly knew the secret of the Masonic lodges, that Lucifer is their god. Lower degrees of Masons would never know this secret unless they were to reach the highest levels of the hierarchy. The lodge is ultimately, yet secretly, the temple in which adorns and pays homage to their great architect of the universe. During the entered apprentice degree, The first of 3 inside the Blue Lodge, the Master prays, "Vouchsafe thine aid, Almighty Father of the universe." Later in the initiation it continues, "And grant that this candidate for Masonry may dedicate his life to thy service." Their symbology is hidden, yet in plain sight among the logos of our institutions today and corporations that have major ties and involvement with them. The symbology is everywhere. And there is one secret society that is at the center of it all, and that is Freemasonry. The darkest and best kept secret Freemasons keep is their worship of Satan, because their master, Lucifer, demands that his existence be kept that way. Elements they use to lock into frequencies that bring them closer to the spiritual dimension to gain power from Satan is the rituals that invite these spirits into our realm. Satan has a strong connection to the planet Saturn, and we're about to see just why. An ancient symbol of Saturn is the black cube. The reason is because on the surface of Saturn is a storm on its north pole that takes the shape of a hexagon. Only Saturn has this feature, the hexagram, and this shape is considered to be the very origin of the three-dimensional cube. Freemasons have venerated the cube as a symbol of their worship of Satan, and the cube can be seen everywhere in major cities. This square is a major symbol to Freemasons. They are said to be on the square and have black and white squares as a checkerboard pattern on their temple floors. Their inner circle among the highest degrees is well aware that the craft is to serve Lucifer within human society. Now, where is the world's most famous black cube? Mecca, Islam's holy of holies known as the Kaaba. Kaaba means cube, which represents Saturn. Worshippers kneel to the Kaaba because the Kaaba stone sits within it. Muslims believe they are worshipping Allah, who they claim is the very God of Abraham, Noah, and Adam. But they are not. It's all centered on the stone inside of the cube. This is why they face Mecca no matter where they are in the world. It is a focus on the Kaaba stone. But what is the stone? It is an ancient meteorite, which was a symbol representing 360 pagan gods that were worshipped in the Middle Ages. Muhammad did not want polytheism to be practiced, being influenced by Judaism and Christianity. So he chose the top pagan god of the Kaaba called Hubal. Another name of Hubal was Allah, and assigned to it to be his new monotheistic god, and assigned the history of the Judaic god to Allah while tracing their genetic roots to Abraham through Ishmael, the brother of Isaac. The rest is history. The Freemasons venerate the goat god, Pan, as a symbol of Saturn, with reference to the Saturn sign of Capricorn. Saturn is also the satanic symbol of Baphomet, the goat-headed being that is strongly represented by Freemasonry. The Indian heart vortex, or chakra point, is symbolized by a hexagram. This cannot be a coincidence. Gnostic Nag Hammadi texts say, "And they closed human hearts, and they hardened themselves through the hardness of the counterfeit spirit, or Lucifer, until now." A cross and a tail that forms the astrological symbol of Saturn was employed by the Rothschilds family to form a hammer and sickle on the flag of the Communist Soviet Union. The Rothschilds were behind the formation of the communist nation using Marxist ideology, as we've seen in our previous episode. Lenin and Trotsky were simply their gophers. Baphomet gave way, its manifestation of the god Pan. Manly P. Hall, the most famous Freemasonic historian, wrote in his book, Secret Teachings of All Ages. Pan was a composite creature, a symbol of Saturn because this planet is enthroned in Capricorn, whose emblem is a goat. In 2016, an obvious representation of Baphomet played a central role in a very bizarre satanic ceremony to open the 35-mile-long Gotthard Base Railway Tunnel, the world's longest, through the Swiss Alps. A British newspaper called the ritual one of the most bizarre opening ceremonies in history. They were not kidding. This satanic ritual was attended by European leaders including Germany's Angela Merkel. Here, we see a baby with feathered white wings and an oversized head, with semi-naked dancers, a montage of all-seeing eyes, and most telling was the falling angels appearing from the abyss, or the Eye of Saturn. Baphomet was the main feature. We see him resurrected, worshipped, and crowned King of the world. The entire ritual was played in its entirety on the BBC and other European networks. Similar rituals take place during the Super Bowl halftime show, award ceremonies like the Oscars, and opening ceremonies for the Olympics. The Masons are behind much of what is going on in Hollywood and the rest of pop culture to conduct their hideous and evil spells on the unsuspecting crowds that lap it all up blindly. They aren't hiding it like they used to. The Freemasons, as we know it, have a long and dark history going back hundreds of years, with written records dating as far back as the late 1300s. However, Masonic legend traces their connections to the children of Israel. Their logo outlines the working tools of a medieval or Renaissance stonemason, claiming their secret ancient knowledge of stone engineering goes back to 930 BC in Judea, and their secret knowledge has been handed down from King Solomon himself and Hiram Abith, with the engineering and construction of King Solomon's Temple. Psalm 83, 2 and 3. Don't you see that your arrogant enemies are rising up? They devise crafty schemes against your people. They conspire against your precious ones. Up next, we explore the records of Hiram Abith, the king of Tyre, and the building plans of King Solomon's Temple. The secret details that we reveal will blow you away. Here on Mysteries Uncovered.